Adapted from archaic translation by W.H.D. Rouse. Jataka number 446. Takkaḻa-Jātaka. No bulbs are here, etc. This story the master told at Jetavana monastery about a layman who supported his father. This man, we learn, was reborn in a needy family. After his mother's death, he used to rise up early in the morning and prepare the tooth, twigs and water for cleansing the mouth. Then by working for hire or ploughing in the fields, he used to procure rice porridge, and thus fed his father in a manner suiting his position in life. Said his father to him, "My son, whatever is to be done indoors and out you do alone. Let me find you a wife, and she shall do the household work for you." "Father," says he, "if women come into the house, they will bring no peace of mind for me or for you. Please do not dream of such a thing. While you live, I will support you. And when you pass away, I shall know what to do." But the father sent for a girl, much against his son's wish. And she looked after her husband and his father. But a low creature she was. Now her husband was pleased with her, for attending upon his father. And whatever he could find to please her, that he brought and gave her. And she presented it to her father-in-law. And there came a time when the woman thought, "Whatever my husband gets, he gives to me, but nothing to his father. It is clear that for his father he cares nothing. I must find some way of setting the old man at variance with my husband, and then I shall get him out of the house." So from that time she began to make the water too cold or too hot for him, and the food she salted too much or not at all, and the rice she served up all hard or else soaking wet. And by this kind of thing did all she could to provoke him. Then, when he grew angry, she scolded. "Who can wait on an old creature like this?" said she, and stirred up dispute. And all over the ground she would spit, and then stir up her husband, "Look there." Would she say, "That's your father's doing. I am constantly begging him not to do this and that, and he only gets angry. Either your father must leave this house, or I." Then the husband answered, "Lady, you are young, and you can live where you will. But my father is an old man. If you don't like him, you can leave the house." This frightened her. She fell at the old man's feet, and craved pardon, promising to do so no more, and began to care for him as before. The worthy layman was so worried at first by her goings-on that he omitted visiting the master to hear his discourse. But when she had come to herself again, he went. The master asked why he had not been to hear his preaching this 7 or 8 days. The man explained what had happened. "This time," said the master, "you refused to listen to her, and to turn out your father. But in former times you did as she asked. You took him to a cemetery, and dug him a pit. At the time when you were about to kill him I was a 7-year-old, and I, by describing the goodness of parents, held you back from father killing. At that time you listened to me, and by tending your father while he lived became destined for paradise. I admonished you then, and warned you not to forsake him when you should come into another life. For this cause you have now refused to do as the woman asked you, and your father has not been killed." Thus saying, at the man's request, he told a story of the past. Once upon a time, when Brahmadatta was king of Benares, there was in a family of a certain village of Kasi an only son named Vasataka. This man supported his parents, and after his mother's death, he supported his father as has been described in the introduction. But there is this difference. When the woman said, "Look there. That is your father's doing. I am constantly begging him not to do this and that, and he only gets angry." She went on, "My lord, your father is fierce and violent, forever picking quarrels. A worn-out old man like that, suffering with disease, is bound to die soon. And I can't live in the same house with him. He will die of himself before many days are out. Well, take him to a cemetery, and dig a pit, throw him in and break his head with the spade. And when he is dead, shovel the earth upon him, and leave him there. At last, by force of this clamoring in his ears, said he, Wife, to kill a man is a serious matter. How can I do it? I will tell you of a way, said she. Say on, then. Well, my lord, at break of day, go to the place where your father sleeps. Tell him very loud, that all may hear, that a debtor of his is in a certain village, that you went and he would not pay you, and that if he dies the man will never pay at all. And say that you will both drive there together in the morning. Then at the appointed time get up, and put the animals to the cart, and take him in it to the cemetery. When you get there, bury him in a pit, make a noise as if you had been robbed, wound and wash your head, and return. Yes, that plan will do, said Vasataka. He agreed to her proposal, and got the cart ready for the journey. Now the man had a son, a boy of 7 years, but wise and clever. The boy overheard what his mother said. My mother, thought he, is a wicked woman, and is trying to persuade father to murder his father. I will prevent my father from doing this murder. He ran quickly, and lay down beside his grandfather. Vasataka, at the time suggested by the wife, prepared the cart. Come, father, let us get that debt, said he, and placed his father in the cart. But the boy got in first of all. Vasataka could not prevent him, so he took him to the cemetery with them. Then, placing his father and his son together in a place apart, with the cart, he got down, took spade and basket, and in a spot where he was hidden from them began to dig a square hole. The boy got down, and followed him, and as though ignorant what was afoot, opened a conversation by repeating the first stanza. No bulbs are here, no herbs for cooking meat, no catmint, nor no other plant to eat. Then father, why this pit, if need be none? Delve in amidst the terrifying woods alone. Then his father answered by repeating the second stanza. Your grandfather, son, is very weak and old, oppressed by pain from ailments many times. Him will I bury in a pit today. In such a life I could not wish him stay. Hearing this, the boy answered by repeating a half stanza. You have done sinfully in wishing this. And for the deed, a cruel deed it is. With these words, he caught the spade from his father's hands, and at no great distance began to dig another pit. His father approaching asked why he dug that pit, to whom he made reply by finishing the third stanza. I too, when you are aged, father mine, will treat my father as you treatest yours. Following the custom of the family. Deep in a pit I too will bury you. To this the father replied by repeating the fourth stanza. What a harsh saying for a boy to say. And to find fault in a father in this way. To think that my own son should rail at me, and to his truest friend unkind should be. When the father had thus spoken, the wise boy recited 3 stanzas, 1 by way of answer, and 2 as an holy hymn. I am not harsh, my father, nor unkind. No, I regard you with a friendly mind. But this you do, this act of sin, your son will have no strength to undo again, once done. Whosoever, Vasata, hurts with ill intent his mother or his father, innocent, he, when the body is dissolved, shall be in hell for his next life undoubtedly. Whosoever with meat and drink, Vasata, shall his mother or his father feed in addition. He, when the body is dissolved, shall be in heaven for his next life undoubtedly. The father, after hearing his son thus discourse, repeated the 8th stanza. You are no heartless ungrateful son, I see, but kindly-hearted, O my son, to me. 'Twas in obedience to your mother's word I thought to do this horrid deed abhorred. Said the boy, when he heard this, Father, women, when a wrong is done and they are not rebuked, again and again commit sin. You must bend my mother, that she may never again do such a deed as this. And he repeated the 9th stanza. That wife of yours, that ill-conditioned lady, my mother, she that brought me on, that same, let us from out our living far expel. Otherwise she work other suffering on you as well. Hearing the words of his wise son, well pleased was Vasataka, and saying, Let us go, my son. He seated himself in the cart with son and father. Now the woman too, this sinner, was happy at heart. For, thought she, this ill luck is out of the house now. She plastered the place with wet cowding, and cooked a mess of rice porridge. But as she sat watching the road by which they would return, she saw them coming. There he is, back with old ill luck again, thought she, much in anger. Ah, good for nothing, cried she, what, bring back the ill luck you took away with you. Vasataka said not a word, but unyoked the cart. Then said he, Wretch, what is that you say? He gave her a sound thrashing, and bundled her head over heels out of doors, asking her never darken his door again. Then he bathed his father and his son, and took a bath himself, and the 3 of them ate the rice porridge. The sinful woman lived for a few days in another house. Then the son said to his father, Father, for all this my mother does not understand. Now let us try to annoy her. You give out that in such and such a village lives a niece of yours, who will attend upon your father and your son and you. So you will go and fetch her. Then take flowers and perfumes, and get into your cart, and ride about the country all day, returning in the evening. And so he did. The women in the neighbor's family told his wife this. Have you heard, said they, that your husband has gone to get another wife in such a place? Ah, then I am undone, said she, and there is no place for me left. But she would inquire of her son. So quickly she came to him, and fell at his feet, crying, Except you I have no other refuge. Henceforth I will tend your father and grandfather as I would tend a beautiful shrine. Give me entrance into this house once more. Yes, mother, replied the boy, if you do no more as you did, I will. Be of good cheer. And at his father's coming he repeated the 10th stanza. That wife of yours, that ill-conditioned lady, my mother, she that brought me on, that same, like a tamed elephant, in full control. Let her return again, that sinful soul. So said he to his father, and then went and summoned his mother. She, being reconciled to her husband and the husband's father, was from then tamed, and gifted with righteousness, and watched over her husband and his father and her son. And these two, firmly following their son's advice, gave alms and did good deeds, and became destined to join the heaven. The master, having ended this discourse, explained the truths. Smiley face, then he identified the birth. At that time, father and son and daughter-in-law were the same as they are now, and the wise boy was I myself.